Have you ever been in a situation where you've been talking to a girl for a while, maybe you've even known her for a while, could be a woman that you're just meeting at a party, or maybe a coworker that you talk to a lot at work, a girl from your social scene, and there's an obvious connection, there's good conversation, there's a lot of rapport, you can tell that she genuinely enjoys talking to you, but it's always at that platonic level, and now you want to move things forward, but you don't know how. In this video, I'm going to explain a very simple way to do it. Hi, I'm Bobby Rio, and in this video I want to teach you a simple thing I learned that allows you to shift gears and start pursuing a girl. And I'm gonna give you 5 ways to do it in a way that doesn't make it weird for her. I should actually rephrase that because it's more about feeling weird to us. Like, we're nervous that she's gonna think that we're only talking to her, we're only friends with her because we secretly liked her, and now we're gonna make a move, and she's gonna think that was our whole plan the entire time. Have you ever been there? I can remember this time I met this girl, Alexis, at a networking event, and we hit it off immediately. We start talking, we separate from the rest of the group, and we had a lot in common, and we were both introverts, and introverts enjoy those deeper conversations. So we kept getting deeper, and within a couple hours, we just have this intense rapport. The problem was there was zero flirting the entire time. So now in my head, I want to transition it to flirting and showing interest, but part of me feels like it makes me seem phony that I was talking to her about all these things, and now I'm just gonna like make a move like every other guy trying to get in her pants. Like, that was my agenda. I didn't want her to think that was my agenda, and because of that, I wound up never making a move. So years later, I figured out how to transition towards showing your interest without being weird or coming across like that was your intention the entire time. Now, a lot of guys in that situation will just randomly compliment her at some point, but that comes across really clunky, and a lot of times, even if she was into you a bit, that clunkiness takes a little bit of the air out of the balloon. So there's a better way to do it, and this is also something that works in almost every situation with a woman, and it's a big part of what we teach. It's the idea of giving her the feeling that she's winning you over. And what this means is that instead of it coming across like you were talking to her this entire time just to get in her pants, instead you were enjoying her conversation, but she did things that seduced you, that won you over. And now, though, that wasn't even your intention, but now you're suddenly interested. For a woman, this is actually what she wants. Women want a man where she feels like she had to work a bit to win him over. So I want to share with you 5 ways that you can give a girl the feeling that she's winning you over. So the first way is to compliment her through connection. I call it the connection compliment. Now, I said earlier that it's clunky if you give her a random compliment on her looks or her eyes, but you want to slowly start approving of her. So for instance, I remember that girl Alexis was really into jazz. So what I could have said was something like, I really like that you're into jazz. For some reason, it just fits you. So the reason this works is because now it puts the attention on your opinion of her. You're no longer both telling stories about your friends or your vacations. The conversation has now turned to your impression of her. And now this opens up opportunities to flirt a little bit with her. But you're doing it in a way that makes it feel like you're slowly noticing things that you like about her. Now, a fun way to do this, let's say the girl has an accent, and it could be anything, right? I'm from New Jersey, so people say I have a New Jersey accent, and you just say like, I love your accent, it's so cute. Then you do an exaggerated version of her accent. Again, you're changing the tempo of the conversation, but not in a clunky way. So the second way to do it is something I call qualifying questions. So again, if I'm talking to Alexa and maybe I say something like, so what's the coolest thing about you that most people don't know? Now, there are 2 good things about a question like this. One is it's a temperature gauge. What I mean is if she gives you a crappy answer like nothing really, it's a good sign that she doesn't really like you that much, or else she'd be trying to impress you. So if she does put a little effort into it, it shows that she's trying to impress you a little bit. And then you can reward her for it. And if she says something unexpected, you can even use that to transition. You can say something like, I would have never thought that about you. It makes me look at you in a totally different way. So here's something interesting. There was a psychological study that says that we're most attracted to a person when they originally weren't attracted to us, but then changed their mind about that. So with a line where it says it makes me look at you in a different way, you're giving off the impression that you just changed your mind about her. So now when you move towards flirting, it comes across more genuine. Okay, So the next one is sort of the opposite of that, and I call it rapport breaking rapport. And in this case, you wait until she says something that you don't agree with, something playful, not politics or anything like that. Maybe she says her favorite ice cream is strawberry, and you say something like, oh man, I was totally starting to like you. I was like gonna make my move and everything, but strawberry, you just ruined it. Now, all you really did there was acknowledge the elephant in the room, that you were thinking of making a move. But you said it in a way where you said, I was starting to like you. So she was winning you over. But she also knows that you're not really gonna stop liking her just because she likes strawberry ice cream. And now you're on a more flirtatious level, and you can see how she responds to that. If she's cold about it, you kind of know maybe she's not into you. But ideally, she starts trying to win back your interest. Come on, I like chocolate too, or whatever, right? Anything that gives you a chance to reapprove of her again. So the fourth one is I call intimacy framing, and that's where you bait her into complimenting you or saying something about you that you can make it seem like she's winning you over. So one that I've used in the past is she has a good intuition for people. And I'll say something like, you know, I get the sense from talking to you a little bit that you're psychic. I bet you have a really good intuition for people. I bet when your friends bring a new boyfriend over who's bad news, you know it right away. And then I'll be like, yeah, so what's your intuition about me? And normally if the connection was good, she'll say something nice about you. So you can use it to transition by saying something like, are you just saying that to get me to like you? It might be working just a little bit. Now, the fifth is another type of variation on cold reading, and I call it the push-pull cold read. And all you're doing is using cold reading as an opportunity to tell her that she's attractive. So here's an example. You know, one of the things that I've noticed from listening to you a little bit is that you're a really self-motivated person. Like, I bet you're the type of person that if there's something that you want, you just go after it no matter what. Like, I bet in high school, there was like a boy or some cheerleading spot or a dance queen position that you wanted, and you just went after it. And I really think that's attractive, even though I do think you're kind of a weirdo. So there's a lot of stuff packed into that. First, the obvious is you're telling her that something about her is attractive, okay? But then you're pushing her away a little bit with, even though I think you're a weirdo, right? That's the push-pull aspect, which leaves some tension there. Does he like me? Does he not like me, right? But a more subtle thing is that you frame her as someone who goes after what they want. And people like to live up to a reputation. So if she agrees that she is the type of person who goes after what she wants, or a boy she wants, she'll be more likely to be comfortable expressing her interest in you because you just told her that you like that quality about her. Does that make sense? So all 5 of these are ways to give her the impression that she's winning you over. This idea of her winning you over makes up a huge part of the technique I teach called the scrambler. And what's so cool is, even if you've already messed up with a girl or you're already in the friend zone, you can still use this. Now, on their own, these techniques are powerful, but when you do them in a specific order, she can't help but start to fall for you, even if you're not her type, right? Even if she already sees you as a friend. So I have a slightly longer video where I map out the exact technique and the specific steps that you can take to get her chasing you instead of the other way around. It's vitally important that you know exactly how to go from one step to the next with a woman in a way that always leaves her wanting more. And that's what I explain in the next video, how to move things forward in an under the radar way that makes her feel like she's winning you over. When you do this, it's a lot easier to turn her into your girlfriend because it feels like her idea. And what I also explain is that even if you've already messed up, you can turn things around, you can erase those mistakes so that you have a second chance to stop her from pulling away. Because just like compliments, most guys think on the surface level stuff, right? Well, I won't text her back right away. Well, that's basic. That's like so predictable. It's what every guy does, so it has no effect on her. What we teach is the psychology of love and attraction and a woman's real idea of romance. You want to get levels and levels deeper. That's where the deep attraction forms. That's where she feels like she's falling in love. So you can click the link below to check it out. And as always, leave us a comment. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. If you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe,